So this is a learning video, and take it as you wish. I'm not an attorney, not any type of doctor or anything like that. So just take this as a grain of salt. However, I want to do one thing to bring up to your attention. How are we the freest country when we cannot stand together?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just relay this to you. The topic, we're going to talk a little bit about the UK, but if you guys want to skip ahead about 3 minutes and get direct to this. But this is a little story that I think some of you guys will appreciate. I alluded to it on this morning's video, but so years ago, actually from 1992 to 1997, I was in charge of launching ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear bombs, that we would, had we gone to nuclear war, I'd be one of the guys that, had my finger on the button or turned the key or, pulled the trigger, whatever you want to say. And that was I'll say, an interesting experience to say the least. And, it required all kinds of psychological profiling and testing for reliability and to make sure you're not some kind of nut job. And it was, you think about it as an awesome responsibility that, and thank God, we never had to do that. But there was a lot of, stressful times that came with that, in preparation for that. But as part of the training, we trained out at Vandenberg Air Force Base out there in California near a town called Lompoc, kind of south or north of Santa Barbara, south of Santa Maria. And during that training, I had we would partner up with somebody because you were on a crew, and so you guys would be required to do some launch procedures. And it was a very exacting, specific way that had to be done. It had to be verified. It had to be, you can't make any mistakes. And it had to be, you had to make sure you had authority, the right authority to make this decision. And it was a very specific way and a specific sort of sequence, the way these things would work. And it had to be carried out in a very rapid but accurate fashion, no room for mistakes. And so when we were doing this, I was paired up with a guy named Neil George. And Neil was a good old boy from North Carolina. In fact, I remember one day, and we were there for 3 months. We learned, I think it was about a 3-month process, maybe it was 4 months, to learn how to launch these nuclear bombs in training. And, he'd gotten some moonshine from his daddy, and, so he was definitely kind of out in the country. And he had a really nice way to talk, but it was really slow. Some people, really slow. I'm from Hickory, North Carolina, and this was his cadence, very, very slow. And so we were paired up with him, and we would get in the simulator, and we get orders to launch a nuclear bomb, and you go through this checklist. It's supposed to be a rapid fire check, previous accomplished, not applicable, bap, 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 really kind of a staccato rapid thing, except Neil couldn't do that. He was like, previously accomplished, and so, I'm trying to get through this thing, and I'm, kind of hyper going, let's get it done, and he was just could not speed up. But I mean, we still made our time because there was a time limit on this, and it wasn't very much, and we got through. But it's important to show that, even. And probably his slowing down probably helped the process and prevented errors. You think about it, but there's room for differences, opinions, and different people, and you should share that. And I think that there's, I think there's something to be said about, careful consideration, and I think you can use that in our sort of response to the pandemic. Okay, so the UK has decided, they were talking about vaccine passports, and just recently, I think yesterday, they said, nope, we're not going to do it. We have decided that vaccine passports are not in our national interest. It's not the way we want to go forward, not the way we want to handle this pandemic. And, the reasons are, they give various reasons, and politicians, but the real reason is the people didn't want it. They demonstrated they didn't want it.
So think about that. England's people didn't want it. We in the United States, we have a republic. We all have our best interests at hand. However, we can stick together for our whole best interest of our individual rights.
They were rioting in London, not rioting, they were protesting in London. They came out in masses. They let everyone around them know we're not going to stand for this, and it made a difference. And I think in this country, in the United States, and maybe other countries, I know the Australians are pushing back. I know some of the Canadians are pushing back. Unfortunately, I think in those two countries, maybe not enough people are standing up. But I think in the United States, this is something, we see, obviously there are red states and blue states, and this has been terribly politicized, but there are people pushing back. And I honestly, think about it. And, I want to share this little, comment from one of the YouTube guys, saying that, hey, I've been vaccinated, and I think vaccines are a good thing, but I do not want to force it upon the population. I think that is a healthy attitude. I think that is an attitude of a cooperation. I think most vaccinated people probably feel that way, quite honestly. I think if you truly press them, I don't think they think all their neighbors are horrible people because they make one decision or another. So anyway, what I would do is use this news from the UK to show that you can make a difference. And it just means saying, hey, I don't agree with this, if that's how you truly feel. Now, if you agree with it, that's fine. I'm not going to condemn you for making a decision, but I think at the end of the day, we don't live in a country where the mob rules, or we shouldn't. Or we don't live in a country where majority is always right. And, you think about it, if the majority was always right, and the majority was always got their way, so many things would have never happened, right? You think about all the progress we've made on a social standpoint. None of it.
Remember, majority is a democracy against individual rights. A republic is for individual rights.
That would have happened if we would have said just let the mob rule or let the majority rule. So anyway, so I think, again, be visible, be vocal, stand up, and be proud of your position. All right, guys, there's hope. Let's stay strong.
Thought it was an interesting video, especially the one he showed about one of his apparently followers. He was vaccinated, but he doesn't think that it should be against people's will. And I agree with that. Never, never, never look just straight forward. Always look around you and find out the consequences of your actions. How does it benefit me? Or can it cause harm upon me? These are We the People News. Bye, y'all.